Hey guys, it's Jen here from Nails by Jen. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome to my channel. So today's video is going to be a vlogging style video. It's not really going to be super nail related, so if you aren't into the non-nail related videos, you can just swipe on to the next one. I'm going to be doing some shopping today, so I've got to go to Dollarama, Dollar Tree. In particular, I want to see if they have any of their fall stuff out. So you guys, last week I filmed a Spend Saturday video. I had 4 hours of footage that I took 4 hours to narrow down. I got a cat hair. So I took 4 hours to narrow down that footage to, I think it was just over an hour. And when I went to upload it, because you guys know I do everything on my phone. When I went to upload it, it said, you don't have enough storage. So what did I do? I went in and deleted some footage permanently, and I deleted half of the footage from that video. In my mind, I was thinking I didn't need the footage anymore because I had already created the video. No, Jennifer. So I am not filming another Spend Saturday because honestly, I just need a break from that. It was a lot of filming, it was a lot of editing, but what I am going to do is head out to the Dollar Tree, the Dollarama also, and see if they have any of their fall items. I'm also going to hit up Winners to look to see if they have any of their fall items. My girlfriend actually just sent me some pictures this morning that they had some pink pumpkins. She knows me all too well. And then I'm also going to do some meal prep for you guys in this video, but I don't do my meal preps till Sunday, and today is Saturday. So I will come back tomorrow and film the meal prep portion because you guys have been asking me for that for quite a while. So I will do that for you tomorrow as well and add that into this video. So if this is something you're interested in, stick around, keep watching. As always, don't forget to click that like and subscribe for me. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below and come hang out with me. Alright guys, so I just hit up the Dollarama. They did have more fall stuff out. I was at a different Dollarama last weekend and they literally had like the smallest little space of fall stuff, and then they had an entire aisle of Halloween stuff. This was last weekend already. So it was the weirdest thing because they have all their summer stuff. They still have Canada Day stuff, which is July 1st. They had, like I said, Halloween, and then just a little tiny like area for fall. That was at a different Dollarama. I'm at the east one here in my city, so I'm just gonna hop over the parking lot to the Dollar Tree and see what they have. One of the cool things that I found in here was that brush holder I showed you guys in the footage. I probably won't keep it, but I want to see how well it holds nail art brushes, and I'll probably just put it in the giveaway box. But it seemed kind of cool, and it was really heavy, so I feel like it would be really sturdy for like makeup brushes. I already have a makeup brush holder, although if they had a blush pink one, I probably would have bought one for my bedroom, my makeup table. But they didn't. They just had the mint, the bright pink, and the black. All right, so I am going to head over to Dollar Tree. So Dollar Tree actually had more fall stuff. I was there last weekend, well, at a different one, and they had no fall stuff, just some floral items. But they had these cute little pumpkins. I've been seeing them on the videos on YouTube that I've been seeing from the US Dollar Trees. They had some of the items. They did not have the white wooden ones, or maybe they originally did and they just gone. But the weirdest thing is both weekends that I have gone to the Dollar Tree, they don't have bags. They have no bags to put your stuff. So I get up to the till with a cart full, and she's like, I have a problem. I have no bags. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do. So she found me a box, but it was like, I said to her, you guys didn't have bags last weekend either. So I guess they're not getting any bags. They've sold out of all of their reusable bags, everything. So no bags at the Dollar Tree. I'm heading to Winners now. I don't really plan to buy anything. I never do, but we'll see what I find. I really don't need a lot of like pumpkins and fall stuff, but you never know what I'm going to find at Winners. Alright guys, so I just finished at Winners and I did not walk out empty-handed. I bought a little pack of, there's like a 4-pack of pink pumpkins. I couldn't pass them up. They were only $13, like $12.99 or something, so I have enough pumpkins now. I do not need any more. I forgot I have to run to Walmart, so I don't know if you guys can see in the back of my car here, I have some pink bins. So they got their pink bins back in stock, and the one store that I went to only had the small ones, which are in my car, and then I went to another one and they had the big ones, which are the ones that I really like, and I use them in my garage, and I've been waiting a whole year for them to come back in stock. I didn't know if they were going to come back, and I needed more, so I did get 4 big ones, and I don't think I need any more. I was going to return these, but I'm going to wait, but I'm going to see what else I find at Walmart. If I find anything that I think you guys would be interested in, I will show you. Otherwise, I won't really film there because I just have to get a bunch of like personal stuff. So head into Walmart, and then I do have to go for groceries, which I don't take you guys with me for groceries, and then I'll come home, or I'll go home, and I will show you everything that I bought, and then tomorrow I will do my meal prep. Okay guys, I have made it home. I am sweaty AF and I am hungry. I am getting hangry, but I want to show you everything that I bought, and then that is it. I'm gonna make something to eat, relax. You know the drill. Usually Saturdays I actually used to eat around 3, but I have been so busy. And I just have been taking a lot longer to get ready and get filming and all that stuff. So I actually am not probably going to eat till closer to 6:30 today. So I'm hungry. Okay, let's start off with Dollarama. So, okay, so I bought an old person pill pack organizer because I'm going on a holiday for 2 weeks. And I just want to take all my vitamins and stuff and have them organized. I don't want to have to take all of my like vitamin bottles. So that's what I bought those for. I did end up buying these 2 little signs. So one says Happy Thanksgiving, one says Hello Autumn. So you guys know I'm not like an orange fan or whatever, but I was thinking I might take the glitter out because I don't actually like the glitter, like the what is that called? Sequins. I don't really love it in there, which is kind of surprising. But I do like the design. I love the little truck, if I'm being honest. So I don't know. I might change them out. I might keep them the same. They were $1.75. I figured they're small enough that I could either put them on my little, you know, I have my circle shelf. When you walk in my house, I'm always looking for little things to put in there. I could either put one of them there, or I could also, when I, you know, need to add a few little seasonal items to my new backdrop, I could add one of these because they're small enough. I also grabbed 2 pumpkins. They had these ones for $2.50. They're kind of like a pearl. They remind me of like a pearl. They've got like a pearl sheen to them. They're really, really cool. They're not super tiny compared to the other ones that I've got from Dollar Tree. I'll show you the difference. They are larger. So I've got 2 of those. I think they had like blue ones also, but they were a different kind of blue. So the lights that I currently have, I don't even know if you guys will have seen my new backdrop when you see this video. And it's not a backdrop. It's just like, you know how I have stuff in the background when I'm filming upstairs in my nail room? I created sort of like, I made some vases. I made a little sign that says Nails by Jen. And I'm kind of thinking I'm going to keep that same background for every video. I'm just going to add little elements. So right now I have very white lights. And so I wanted to try out these ones, which are, they're more like fairy lights. I don't know if they're going to be bright enough. The other ones are like just, they almost remind me of Christmas lights. These are little fairy lights. So they're warm white. Anyways, I thought I would try those, see which ones I like better. And, oh, I needed zip ties. I thought I bought zip ties last time from the Dollar Tree, but I don't know where they are. And maybe I already put them away, and just when I was there and I passed by them, I was like, ooh, I don't remember seeing them, so if I have extra, I have extra. And then, of course, this brush holder. So what I'd like to do is actually go up into the nail room, not today, maybe tomorrow, before I edit this video, and I'm going to test this out and put some of my nail art brushes in it and see how it works. And I'll put like some type of a video or photo here in the side for you guys to check it out, because it's really heavy, so I think it would be really like quite sturdy. and it's really cute. Like, and I think it'll hold a lot of brushes, because I feel like some brushes will fit in here, like in the big part, and then other brushes will fit in the smaller part. And I'm assuming it's kind of like rubber. Anyways, so that is everything from the Dollarama. Oh, Jesus God. Let me just throw everything back in this bag, and I will put it all away later because I need to eat. I'm getting a headache actually because I haven't actually drank anything either. I didn't even take my vitamins this morning. All right, so let's just do winners because I only bought one thing. So these are the little pumpkins. Oh yeah, I wanted to leave out the other ones. So you can see the difference in size, even just from these. I'm not going to take them out of the pack. But it was a pack of 4 cute blush pumpkins with a little golden stem for $12.99. I couldn't pass them up. I can put one of these in my little shelf as well. I can use one of these in my backdrop. I can put them wherever. So I will definitely use these. So let me put those down there. Okay, so floral items. You guys saw me pick up that pumpkin looking wreath thing, and I really like hummed and I hawed over it while I was walking through the store. I do not need another wreath. I bought a wreath ring for one of these shopping days, and I don't need another wreath. And then I bought all of this stuff, all of this floral stuff, because I thought, well, if I do decide to make another fall wreath, at least I have this floral stuff. And so I bought these navy blue flowers because sometimes when I'm filming and I do like a navy blue nail or a nail with blue, I don't have any like navy floral background stuff. So I just picked up 2 of those. Everything at our Dollar Tree here is $1.25. So 2 of them, $1.25. And then they had these stems, and I just thought they were so cute because they're kind of like a peachy, blushy, I don't know. They're very soft and pretty. So I picked up these ones because they have also got little pumpkins. If you can see them, yes, you can see them. Little pumpkins. So I think I got like 4 of those, maybe 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, I did get 4 of those. And then they also just had these leaves. And I'm pretty sure I actually have some of these upstairs, like for background stuff. But I literally bought all of this stuff just in case I want to make a fall wreath. I ain't going to do it this year. I really don't think. I've just got way too much stuff going on and things I need to do, you guys. And I don't need one. I have a wreath on my door, and that wreath goes on summer. It stays in fall, and it goes into it goes in spring. Sorry. I put it up in the spring, it stays in summer, and it goes all the way through fall. And then in the winter, I think I have another one for winter. I'm pretty sure. And if not, that'll just stay there as well. So if I feel like next year making a new wreath for fall, these are what I will use for that. And that is about it. I have also purchased, okay, I have seen these. So I think I mentioned to you guys, and if I haven't, then I'm going to mention it now. When I watch YouTube videos, I actually like watching Dollar Tree haul videos. And a lot of the ladies in the States, in the US, have been buying these. So they're like little, I don't want to really take it apart, but the lid comes off and it's just like empty inside. And what they're doing is they're buying like cheap candles from Dollar Tree or wherever that smell nice. They're melting them down and then pouring them in here with a new wick and creating a little candle. So again, I don't know if I will have time to do all of that, but I did buy 4 of them. I bought 4 because I thought I could give a couple of them to a couple of my girlfriends. One of my girlfriend's birthday is in October, so I could make one of these for her. And then my other girlfriend, I just could give her one because I love her. And the other 2 I will keep for myself. So I don't know again if I will be, doing that anytime soon, but you guys, I have so many projects like on a list. Some of the stuff's just in my head and I will forget about it, but I do have some lists. And then I bought these pumpkins as well. Okay, so the size of these ones are very similar to the Dollarama ones. This is Dollarama, this is Dollar Tree. These ones are smaller, right? They're kind of tinier. So these are the wooden style ones. And again, in the Dollar Tree videos that I have been seeing, they have been showing white ones as well. And they're kind of like a white wood effect. These are obviously brown, but I was thinking, I don't know if I could, like I have blush pink chalk spray paint. So I kind of thought I could spray paint them. But then they would lose that wood effect, right? Like, so I don't know. I might just leave them brown. I have no idea. I bought 4. I bought 2 of these ones and 2 of these ones just because. And then I bought 8 of these. Because in my bathroom, I have, so behind my door, my house, let me just first off start off by saying my house is a very old house. It's a wartime house. There's no basement. So behind my bathroom door is this like gnarly old shelf that has been painted probably 50 times. Like I'm sure if I actually scrape through the paint, there's probably 50 layers of paint in there. And it just has a curtain over it. There's no doors on it or nothing. It's a floor to ceiling like unit that's built in and it's got shelves. So I have just all of my bathroom stuff, right? I have like Q-tips and razors and all kinds of stuff. So I have them right now just in baskets. I'll try again. Another thing I'll try to do is just take a video and put it here of what it looks like right now. It's kind of a mess. At one point it was way more organized with the baskets, but over time, of course, it's gotten messy. And there's just a lot of like little things in some of those baskets that I feel like would be better in a drawer. So I bought 8 of these, and what I actually plan to do is once I get them in there and have them organized the way that I want and the items inside, I am thinking that I will E6000 glue them together and stack them so that they don't like move, right? So like when I go to open one, it's not gonna like just slide off like that, right? I want them to stack together and be stuck together. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So again, I don't know if I will have that done before this video goes up. If I do, I will insert photos of what it also looks like after I'm finished or videos so you guys can see. So that is it for the little kind of shopping haul. I am going to go eat, you guys. I am going to relax. I need to turn on the AC in here. I have a big, massive window air conditioner. I call it the Beast. It's huge. It's been with me. I've had it for like 13 years. So it's a beast. So I can't turn it on while I'm trying to talk to you guys because it's just too freaking loud. So I'm going to turn that on. I'm going to pull my couch out because it pulls out into a bed, and I'm going to relax my chunky butt on the couch, watch a movie, eat some food, and that's it for my Saturday. So I will see you guys tomorrow to meal prep. Hey guys, good morning. It is Sunday. I am finally getting around to my meal prep. It's actually almost noon. Yes, it's 10 to noon. So I have been busy this morning doing editing the videos that I filmed yesterday. I have been on social media doing stuff. I have been communicating with other nail techs. I've actually been chopping it up with Miss Talia a little bit this morning. So shout out to Miss Talia. And oh, and I also posted a bloopers reel from my last video that I filmed yesterday. You guys, if you don't follow me on Instagram, go over there and go onto my IGTV. It's a 1 minute or 1 minute and 15-second video of my bloopers from yesterday. Like that, I could not get it together with that last video. I don't know what was going on with me yesterday. So yeah, so I've been doing all of that. But I'm finally getting into the meal prep. So one of the things that I have to have, and I utilize every single time I do any type of meal prep, is, oopsies, I just hit the button here, is MyFitnessPal. So I don't know, most people are very familiar with this app. There is a free version. There's also a paid version, which is the one I do because I like to utilize the macros. And I believe in order to use macros on MyFitnessPal, you have to pay. It's not expensive. I don't know, maybe it's like $27 a year, something like that. I have no idea. But I utilize that app for recipes. So I enter all my recipes in there, which then I can take that recipe and I can add it to each day, whatever day I'm eating that recipe. You can save meals. So for instance, if you created a salad one day, you can save that whole salad, whatever all the ingredients are, into a meal so that you can add it to another day. It's just a really great app. I've tried several apps. I did Weight Watchers years ago. I tried their app. Their app sucked, if I'm being honest. This just has a huge index of items. You can find anything you're looking for. What do you call it? The barcode reader works really, really well. So if you don't have MyFitnessPal and you're wanting to get on a weight loss journey or just start tracking your food for whatever reason, highly, highly recommend that. I do not get anything from them. It's just an app that I like. So when I do my meal prep, I meal prep all of my food for the week from Monday through Friday. And I do eat the same thing every day, Monday through Friday. Sometimes Friday evenings, if I just am like, you know what, I've had a week, I might order something or just make something different to treat myself or whatever. But yes, I do eat the same food Monday through Friday. It's easy, it's ready. It's just, I don't know, like, I don't know how you guys are cooking a different meal every day. I understand that if you have, you know, a family or children, that it can be a lot more difficult. But if I'm being real, I'm not even as busy as half of you guys, and I still probably would tell my family, like, this ain't a restaurant. We're gonna eat the same thing for, I mean, at minimum, like a few days. Like, I'm not cooking 5 meals plus the week. I'm not cooking 7 meals a week. Times 2, because 1 for lunch and 1 for supper. No, ma'am, that ain't happening. That would not be happening here. So, yes, so I eat the same thing. So I'm gonna start off with my chicken, because I have to get that in the oven first. So for supper, I'm doing, what am I doing? I've got some pork chops that I already made a couple of weeks ago, and I froze, because I made a huge batch, so I froze some of it. It's a kind of a keto play on the pork chops and cream of mushroom soup recipe. If you have ever done that, it's very delicious. But cream of mushroom soup is not keto. Like, I don't even know all the stuff that's in it, but there's just a lot of non-keto stuff in it. So I just like a keto version of it. It did turn out a little bit dry, drier than I would have liked, but it was still really, 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 really good. Actually, like, very, very flavorful. The meat was tender. It was very good. So I have some of that left over. I have enough to do like half portions for my supper, half portions of what I would have normally ate the week that I created it or made it. So I'm also going to be making some chicken. So I only eat bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs. I used to eat boneless, skinless chicken thighs, but with keto, you want the fat, right? So, and I'm a fat girl. I mean, I'm kind of a chubby girl. I'm not a fat girl. I love fat. I love the feet. Oh, you guys, I swear there's going to be so many bloopers probably from this video. I don't love feet. I love the fat from steak, pork chop. I love fat. So keto is a good way of eating for me. So I have bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs. So I'm going to be baking those. You can put them on the grill if you prefer, but I just do it in the oven because it's easy. You put them all on a pan, you put it in the oven, turn on the timer, and that's it. Okay, so that, and then I'm also going to rice some cauliflower. So that'll be supper. For lunch, I am doing hard-boiled eggs, and I'm going to make a cucumber salad. So one of the other things that is kind of weird about me, I guess, or not weird, it's just different. I actually eat my breakfast and my lunch together early in the morning, and then I eat my supper by 3 o'clock, because I do intermittent fasting also during the week. So I don't eat basically from 3 o'clock till like 7 the next morning. So you guys would maybe want to split it up a little bit differently, but that's just how I eat. So my lunch is going to be a cucumber salad, which I've never made before. I've eaten at people's houses and stuff in the past, but I've never made it myself. So I've got that, and then some hard-boiled eggs. And then my breakfast is going to be a yogurt with coconut milk also, and I'm going to make a keto granola. I still have some left of the first batch, but I won't have enough for this week, and I think it lasted me like 2-3 weeks. It's so good, you guys. I will never buy a bag of keto granola. I bought a bag once and it was $25 freaking, and I think it lasted me maybe a week. no ma'am. Like, I will make this stuff forever. It is so tasty. And I think you could even make granola bars out of it, because you'll see when I make it, you have to kind of smash it up. And I think if you just kind of cut it into bars and then continue to bake it, I think it would make bars. I've just never tried that. I just kind of smash it up and I leave some chunks chunkier so I can like snack it like a chunk, right, if I want to. And the rest I just put on my yogurt. And I think, oh, and then fat bombs. I'm making my favorite fat bombs. I've been eating the same ones probably for 2 years. Honestly, I had tried so many fat bombs, cheesecake ones, strawberry cheesecake, chocolate one. I mean, I've tried them all, chocolate peanut butter. These are my favorite. They are butter pecan fat bombs. The problem is I don't have any pecans, so I'm putting walnuts, because I think I grabbed walnuts instead of pecans because I have a lot of walnuts and I have no pecans. But that's fine, they will do. So that's pretty much the menu. So I'm gonna flip the camera around and yeah, I'm just gonna show you guys how I cook all my stuff for the week. Alright guys, so I'm starting off with my chicken. I have preheated my oven to 400 degrees. I have also rinsed my chicken. It was just sitting in the sink in a colander. And whenever I'm working with any type of meat, I always wear gloves, you guys. I wear gloves when I'm cutting chicken, when I am touching any type of meat, when I am using onions or garlic. I really hate touching all of those things with my bare hands, so I always wear rubber gloves. And you will see on the counter here on the right, I have a little bit of chicken juice, so I had to grab some Lysol wipes to wipe that up, because ain't nobody trying to get salmonella over here. So for the seasoning, this is the seasoning that I pretty much use for everything. It's kind of like my base seasoning. Now I don't have exact measurements because honestly I just wing it every time, but I think you could pretty much just do equal amounts of all of them, except for the 2 types of pepper and also the poultry seasoning. So we're gonna start off with this French fry seasoning, but you can use a seasoning salt. So I got this one at the Dollar Tree and it's really, really good. It is obviously very, very salty. So I think that it ends up being about, I would say 2 or 3 tablespoons of this seasoning salt. And then I'm going to add paprika, which again, I probably added about 2 tablespoons or 3 tablespoons of paprika, and then garlic powder and onion powder, again, equal amounts, 2 or 3 tablespoons. And then I have black pepper, which I only did, I would say 2 tablespoons of black pepper and maybe 1 tablespoon of white pepper. The white pepper has a little bit more of a kick to it, I find, and it has a little bit of a different flavor profile. And then I would say I probably only added a teaspoon or half a tablespoon of the poultry seasoning. I'm not looking to create like a turkey dinner flavor, but the poultry seasoning does just add a little bit of something extra. And then I basically just give it a good shake. I do have to go in after with my rubber glove because there are some clumps of the onion powder and garlic powder and I just kind of have to break them up. But basically this amount of seasoning will last you quite a while. So generally when I do my chicken, I will actually buy huge club packs. I will buy 2 huge club packs and I will cook up 3 huge trays of these chicken thighs, and then I will debone them, I will cut them up, and I will bag them and freeze them. And that way I just have frozen chicken for several weeks. So it seems like a lot of meal prep and a lot of time that it takes to do some of this meal prep stuff, but some of the things that even that I'm making today will also carry on into the next couple of weeks. So unfortunately, when I went to purchase the chicken this time, they did not have the club packs that I wanted. So I just ended up buying this smaller pack and they were already frozen. Another thing that I do when I get home from the grocery store is I always season my meat before I freeze it. I didn't do it with this chicken because, as I said, it was frozen already and I just needed to unthaw it so that I could cook it today. But yes, I always come home, whether it's steak or chicken or pork chops, anything like that, I will season it and then I will freeze it. And that way, when you pull it out of the freezer, it is already seasoned. And this base seasoning is really, really great. You can use it for all kinds of flavor profiles. So say, for instance, you wanted to create an East Indian flavored chicken. You could still use this base seasoning, have your chicken already frozen with this seasoning on it. And then when you want to cook your chicken, you could add a little bit of cumin, a little bit of curry powder, maybe a little cinnamon, some cayenne for kick, and maybe a little bit of sweetener, and you'll have yourself like an East Indian flavor. And you can do that with all kinds of flavor profiles. So I am adding the seasoning to the chicken, and yes, I know, just from my experience with my African American people in my life, they always make jokes that white people don't know how to season their chicken or season their food. I do know how to season my food. I am half Italian, so my Nonna taught me well. So don't get it twisted. I know it seems like a lot of seasoning, and maybe some of you are looking at the amount of seasoning that I just put on this chicken and freaking out, but I like flavor. So I definitely put a lot of seasoning, and this pack of seasoning probably would have only, it would have done enough to do 3 huge, basically club packs of chicken, but obviously I don't have that much chicken, so I'm just seasoning what I've got. I'm removing my glove just very carefully because I don't want to get any chicken guck on my fingers. But I'm just putting my seasoning away, and then I'm going to get this chicken onto a parchment paper lined pan, and I'm going to get it straight into the oven. So I place the chicken skin side up, and you guys, when I put it in the oven, I don't touch it. I put it in for 40 minutes. I always start at 40 minutes, and then I'll check it, and then if I feel like it needs to go longer, I will kind of do it in 10-minute increments. This is the easiest way to cook chicken because you just get to basically put it in and oh my gosh, what's that guy's name? The guy who says set it and forget it. I swear you guys know what I'm talking about. He had some like cooking machine that you put food in and then you set it and forget it. I will put a picture of him on the screen here because I know you guys know who I'm talking about. But basically it's the same concept. You put the chicken in the oven and you don't touch it for 40 minutes. You check it, and if it needs 10 more minutes, you put it back in. I don't flip it over or nothing. It is the easiest chicken to do, and that's why I do it this way. So the next thing that I'm going to work on is my hard-boiled eggs. So my favorite method to cook them is to put them on the stove and bring the water up to a boil. Once it has boiled, I will put the lid on, and then I will just shut the burner off, but I will leave the pot on the burner. And I will set a timer for 15 to 20 minutes. I find that this method is the best way to cook the eggs. They come out cooked so well and they peel so easily. So after that, I will run them under cool water, and then I will start peeling them while they are still warm. And I'm telling you guys, this is the best method. It cooks the eggs so perfectly, and they really do peel so easily. So I'm just going to get these eggs onto the stove, and then I'm going to move on to my riced cauliflower. So because I have a very small little home and a tiny kitchen, I only have about 2 to 3 feet of counter space to work on. So in between each item that I'm cooking, I am going to clean and do the dishes. So I'm just wiping the counters with Lysol wipe because I did have the chicken on the counter here as well. I just want to make sure there's no residue from the raw chicken or anything like that. And I'm going to just make sure that I clean all of the bowls and everything that I've used and get ready to make my cauliflower. So I have pulled out my food processor. This is the easiest way to make riced cauliflower. Riced cauliflower is one of my staples. Doing keto, I eat a lot of cauliflower. If you don't like cauliflower, I am sorry because it is such a huge staple in the keto world. And I feel like you could just learn to like it by seasoning it and trying to make it in different ways. But I love riced cauliflower, so I will sometimes eat that for like months at a time before I get bored with it. So basically, I need to have 500 grams of cauliflower so that I have 100 grams per day for my supper. So what I usually do, because when you cook it, it'll cook down and the measurements will be a little bit less, I will actually cut up 600 grams. That way when it steams, it works out to being about 500 equally so that I can get those 100 grams per day. So I'm just going to chop up my cauliflower into smaller pieces that will fit into the food processor. And then I'm just going to process it and pulse it until it gets to the right consistency that I'm looking for. So there are 2 different textures of riced cauliflower that I really like. I like the one that is a little bit more coarse, and I would consider that to be more of a rice consistency or texture. And then I like it a little bit more fine as well, and that would be more like a couscous. If you're not familiar with couscous, it is a very tiny little ball of pasta is basically what it is, or little balls of pasta. Very small. I'll insert a photo here if you're not familiar with couscous. I feel like it's a Mediterranean thing, but I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, please correct me in the comment section below. But I do love the texture of the couscous one. Every once in a while, I just switch it up. Sometimes I'll do the more rice texture and sometimes I'll do the more couscous texture. So today I'm going to show you what a rice texture would be, and then I'm going to continue to pulse it to get that couscous texture because that's what I'm looking for my meals this week. So all you need to use is your food processor with your chopping blade, and then I do not fill the food processor all the way to the top. If you fill it too much, it just will not chop it consistently. So I do it about halfway, and I just have to do it in separate batches, and I just pulse it at first just to make sure like everything starts getting going, and then you can just hold the pulse button down to make sure it's all consistent. And again, just keep grinding it until you get to the texture that you like. So this first texture here is the one that is more like the rice consistency. You can see there's a bit more texture to it. It's not as fine of a grind. And then I will just put it back onto the food processor and I will keep grinding it down until it's a finer consistency. You do have to give the food processor a little shake or make sure you scrape down the sides with a spatula just to make sure everything gets ground up very, very consistently. And as you can see, it is way finer of a grind and it's way closer to that couscous texture. So once I have all of the cauliflower ground up, I usually don't really season it depending on what I'm eating it with, but I am going to add a little bit of salt and pepper here. But generally, again, I don't need to season it because a lot of times I'll put like a pat of salted butter on it, or the item that I'm eating it with has a sauce. Now the chicken and the pork that I am eating it with this time for this week, they don't really have a sauce. I am going to be adding some butter and heavy cream, but I did add a little bit of salt and pepper, nothing crazy. And to cook the cauliflower, I just put it in the microwave without a lid or anything like that. I set it at high for 7 minutes for this amount of cauliflower, and I find that it cooks it to the perfect sort of al dente. I don't want to fully cook it because when I eat my food during the week, I reheat it in the microwave and I don't want it to turn to mush. So the next item I'm going to work on is my cucumber salad. So I have never made this recipe, but I have already entered it into my Fitness Pal. So if you go into the top left corner where those 3 lines are, you will see there's recipes at the bottom. So you can create your own recipe by importing a recipe from the internet. So you would just click the top button there, and then you can copy and paste the link to whatever recipe you want, and it'll import the recipe directly in for you, and then you can change out items if you need to. But what I did here was I just created the recipe manually by creating the recipe, giving it a name, and adding all the items manually. So I have them already in here. So I'm just going to start getting everything prepped, and this is a really simple recipe. So I'm going to start off by slicing my cucumbers. I am using just a little mandolin. I just have a cheap one. I think it's like Starfruit or something from Walmart, and it works really great. I don't want them to be super thin. I think that they come out looking about maybe like 2 millimeters in thickness, and I'm going to cut up 500 grams of cucumbers because I, again, am doing 100 grams per day. And if you don't have a mandolin, you can absolutely just use a knife and just try to slice them as thin as possible. If it's easier, so they're not rolling around, just cut it in half first. You do want to cut them in thinner slices. I don't think that this salad would taste as good if it was cut into big chunks, but either or you can try whichever way you prefer. I just like them thinly sliced. And then I need a little bit of red onion. So I did not follow the recipe 100%. I usually don't, you guys. I tend to wing things quite a bit, especially because it's just me. And particularly the onion, I'm pretty sure in the original recipe, which I will link all of the recipes below for you guys, I'm pretty sure in the original recipe, it was way more onion than I wanted. Like red onion in particular is very strong. You don't need a lot to get that little bit of onion flavor. So I only added 25 grams. I think it went over just a little bit because I just cut up that whole little half there and it went up to like 28 grams, but not a big deal. So I'm just slicing that thinly as well, and I'm going to add it to the bowl here that is next to me on the scale. So I also need fresh dill. This is key to this recipe, and unfortunately when I went to the grocery store, they did not just have the fronds, they had these big dill weeds. I'm assuming because a lot of people are doing pickling and stuff right now. So I just basically have to go through this big bunch of weeds and try to pick off as many fronds as I can. I added about 2 tablespoons of dill weed or dill fronds to this, and it tasted perfect because I love a lot of dill. So if you don't like a lot of dill, then maybe just add half, but or follow the recipe that the gentleman, I think it was a gentleman who created the recipe, just follow that recipe and, you know, you can kind of tweak it the way that you want. So then I just chopped up my dill and threw it in the bowl with the cucumber and the red onion. So the next ingredient I added was the white vinegar. So I believe the recipe that I created said 1 3/4 tablespoons. I started off with 1 tablespoon, and then once I mixed everything together, I tasted it and I did add another 1/2 tablespoon, and that was the perfect amount for this recipe, 1 1/2 tablespoons. And then also I added in my sour cream, which is 6 tablespoons of sour cream, and this is full fat sour cream. So something you will learn when you are starting keto is that everything you eat will be full fat. So you won't be eating any like low fat yogurt, low fat sour cream, or anything like that. And I know it seems weird at first, but you will get used to it. Don't fret. It is totally the way it is supposed to be. So the next item that I'm going to be adding is just some stevia for sweetness. I honestly don't have a measurement because I just have a squeezy bottle. So, and it's not really, it's a thicker consistency. So I couldn't even say if it's, you know, how many drops, because it doesn't really drop out. It's more like a honey consistency. So I would say just squeeze a little bit, give it a taste. And if you want more, you need more, add more. I also added some salt and pepper. Again, I didn't measure it. I just am doing it to taste. That's pretty much how I cook and why I'm not good with baking, because when I bake, when you bake, you have to measure everything. And I just love to taste things as I go and see if I need to add things. So you guys, I have to say this tastes so freaking good. I was so impressed. I'm just like tasting a little piece here in the video and I am so impressed. I'm just like, oh my gosh, it is so good. I will definitely make this again. I might even make it next week, and next week, I don't know. Usually when I find something I like, I will make it for several weeks until I get sick of it. So yes, highly recommend this recipe. So as I was just finishing up the cucumber salad, my timer went off for my eggs. So I am pulling them off of the stove, and then I'm going to put them in the sink and run cold water over them just to cool them off so that I can handle them. And then I'm going to start deshelling them. So basically I just crack the ends of the eggs, and then I also crack on the sides, and then the peel just comes off super easy, you guys. I don't find that I have any issues with them with this cooking method. They peel really easily. Oftentimes it'll just come off in like one big clump. And yeah, so I'm just going to continue on peeling all of the eggs, and then I'm going to place them back into the water and just let them to continue to cool. So if you guys have any tips or tricks when it comes to peeling eggs, or ways that you find it's easier to peel them, let me know in the comment section below. So while I was doing the cucumber salad, the chicken timer also went off at 40 minutes. So I checked it and I put it back in for 10 minutes, and here's what it looks like after a full 50 minutes at 400 degrees. So delicious. It is perfectly golden brown. So I'm just going to leave the chicken sitting on the stove to cool down, because I find that the easiest way to debone it is when it is still warm. The bone just slides right out, and then I actually use my kitchen shears to cut the chicken. I find it a lot easier than using a knife, and it's so much faster. So I will just let that chicken cool, and I'm now going to work on my yogurt for breakfast. So I have a 500-gram container of plain Greek yogurt. Again, I'm doing 100 grams per day. And then I'm using this T&T coconut milk. It is the absolute best coconut milk. Oftentimes when you buy coconut milk in the can, it will have like the solid bit at the top, and then underneath will just be like liquid, like almost like a water. It'll be a coconut water. But this stuff is like coconut cream. I actually firmly believe, now I've not tried it, but I feel like it is very much the consistency of whipping cream. So I feel like you could probably whip this into like a coconut whipped cream. And this container, I'm not sure how much is in this can, but basically it roughly works out to being about 75 grams to 80 grams per container. Again, I'm doing 5 containers, 1 container per day for Monday through Friday. So I'm going to start off just by placing the plain Greek yogurt into a bowl, and then you guys, I have this little whisk. I don't know if you remember, I purchased it from the Dollar Tree, and I only bought it because it matched all of my other utensils, but I had no idea what I was going to use it for because it's so tiny, and I have found its purpose. I use it every week when I make my yogurt. It is the absolute perfect size, and I love it. So I'm also going to be adding some vanilla. Now, I generally love to use the OOO Flavors extracts. This one here is brown sugar, but I love the French vanilla one. I need to order some more. I'm obviously out of it, so I'm going to see if I can order a really big one because I use the crap out of that stuff. So because I don't have that, I'm just using some vanilla extract, and I'm probably adding about a teaspoon. You guys, I love the flavor of vanilla, so I put kind of a lot in here. And then I'm also going to be adding some stevia for sweetener, and I'm using the Whole Earth Stevia monk fruit one. That's the one I've been using throughout this whole day, and it is my favorite one as well. And then I'm just going to use my little whisk, and I'm going to whisk everything up, and then I'm going to portion 100 grams out into each of these little bowls. So once I have the Greek yogurt portioned out into 100 grams, then I'm going to pour in my coconut milk. And I know you guys are probably thinking, why didn't I just pour the whole can of coconut milk into the bowl? And to be honest, there really is no reason. I've just always done it this way. It probably would be easier to do it that way, but I've just done it this way for so long, and I know the measurements and I know how to do it, so that's why I do it that way. But if you want, you can absolutely mix everything together in one bowl, and then you would just have to basically take that entire weight of the mixture and divide it by 5. So once I've got everything measured out, then I just take my itty bitty whisk and I whisk the coconut milk and the Greek yogurt together. So you will notice that it is a bit of a looser consistency, and I don't actually put my toppings into my Greek yogurt until that morning that I'm going to be eating it, because I don't like things to get soggy, and I really love frozen berries. So I gravitate towards blueberries, or sometimes I'll do like a berry mixture, but I love to put them in frozen in the morning, and then I also throw my granola right on top. I don't like to put the granola before because it'll get soggy, and when you put the frozen berries in, they almost kind of freeze the yogurt a little bit, and then it becomes sort of like a frozen yogurt. It is so good. And so when you add the berries plus the granola, it also makes more of a thicker kind of consistency, right? Because you have other items in there. So don't worry. I know that it looks really, really thin, but it is so stinking good. I love the texture of it. I love the flavor because it adds a little bit of a coconutty background because of that coconut milk. And you can flavor these in any way you want. You could do like cinnamon and pecans. You could do chocolate chunks, like a dark chocolate chunk if you wanted to. You could add like a maple syrup flavoring. I also did a pina colada one once where I added some coconut, and then I had some of those OOO flavors. I had a coconut one and a pineapple one. It was also very good. So you could flavor this in so many different ways, and my go-to is blueberries and some type of a nut or a granola. So that is it for the yogurt. I'm just going to get the lids on and get them into the fridge, and now I'm going to work on my granola. So I just went into the website and checked out what I needed to set the oven at, and I need to set it at 360. And then I quickly wanted to show you guys, when you're doing MyFitPal, you can enter in how many portions you are making, but it doesn't tell you what size the portions are. There's nowhere to enter that information. So you can see here, I have 42 grams per serving for the keto granola. So I need to do the same thing for the keto cucumber salad. So basically what I'm going to do is measure out the weight of the cucumber salad. So I'm just going to put a different bowl on the weight scale, dump it into that bowl so that I can measure it, and then I'm going to divide that by 5, and then when I get that total, I will just edit the recipe in MyFitPal and I will add that number. So in this instance, it came to 660, so I divided it by 5 and got my total, which is 132. So then I go back into the recipe and I just edit the title and I type in 132 per serving. And then that's just saved forever. So I always know if I make this cucumber salad and I use the exact same measurements, it's going to be 132 grams per serving. So before I move on to the granola, I decided I might as well just portion out all of my lunch, which is going to be my cucumber salad and my eggs. So these containers are actually from Amazon, and I really, really like them. Of course, they're like a blush pink color. So the one side has 2-cup measurement, the other side has a 1-cup measurement, which is kind of helpful too if you're, trying to do portion control and stuff like that. So I'm just going to place the cucumber salad into the larger side and then the 3 eggs into the smaller side. So I know when you guys are looking at this, you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, that's all you would eat for lunch. But really it is enough, especially with the amount of fat and protein that you're getting from the eggs and, the sour cream and everything like that. It's definitely going to be enough, I promise you. It might at first feel really odd and you might think you're hungry, but you really are not hungry. And a little trick that I have for you guys when it comes to trying to figure out if you're hungry or your mouth just wants something. And I'm pretty sure Dr. Ken Berry on YouTube, who I have watched when I was learning about keto, I'm pretty sure he told me about it. And basically, if you go to the fridge or you go to your cupboard to open it and you're thinking you want to eat something, just stop and ask yourself if you would eat something that you would eat if you were starving. So for instance, some people will use like a plain boiled egg, or what I use is a plain chicken breast, a plain boiled chicken breast, because I don't really like chicken breast, but I would eat it if I was hungry, right? So I will sit there and I will ask myself, would you eat a plain boiled chicken breast right now? If the answer is no, then I'm not hungry. I'm just looking for something to fulfill a craving or put in my mouth because I'm bored or maybe I'm emotional or whatever. So I absolutely love that trick and it really does work, you guys. So I'm just going to put all of the lids on these containers and get them in my fridge and ready to go for the week. So I'm also going to put my cauliflower into the microwave because I have not done that yet. So I'm just going to grab this little piece and give it a little nibble because it's bigger than the rest. So I'm going to put it in the microwave without a lid for 7 minutes on high and it will steam perfectly. All right, so back to the granola. So if you guys are wondering where I got these blush pink bowls, it's actually a set of 4 or 5. I can't remember offhand, but they are Tupperware bowls. They are so good. I love them. And some of them are so big. They're perfect for parties. So I'm just pulling up my recipe of all of the items, and I will put the link below for the recipe, but I'm just basically going to throw all of the items into this bowl. All right, guys, so I'm starting with some slivered almonds, and then I am also using some walnuts. And for the measurements, just check out the recipe below, you guys. I've got some sunflower seeds as well. These are raw sunflower seeds and some chia seeds. And then I've also got pumpkin seeds. And I'm also going to be adding some almond flour and also some coconut, some unsweetened coconut. I wish I could have found bigger flakes, but that was all that they had at the grocery store. And then also some flax seed. So you can see there's lots of nuts and seeds in this. That's basically what it is. And then I also need to get some MCT oil, which if you guys have not used MCT oil, you do have to be weary of this at first because it can make you out the bottom end real fast and a lot. So if you've never used it, just be careful. And then also I've got some Walden Farms maple syrup. And then I also need to add an egg and some stevia, which I just added there. And I'm also going to need some melted butter. So once the butter has melted, I'm actually going to mix the egg in first. And I don't know if they say this in the recipe, but it just, in my head, I thought if I put hot butter right on top of that egg, it's going to start to kind of cook the egg. So I just mixed the egg in first, and then I'm scraping all of that golden deliciousness out of the bowl and mixing it in with all of the nuts and grains. And so you can see it looks very wet. So I feel like you guys could totally make this into granola bars. I've never tried this, but because it's really wet and sticky, I feel like if you really compressed it into, say, like a 9x9 pan, I'm not sure how long you would cook it for or anything like that. You'd really have to play around with it, but I do firmly think that you could absolutely make this into granola bars. And I need to add cinnamon, and I don't measure it. I like a lot of cinnamon. I don't know, maybe it's a half a teaspoon or something. I do taste it right before I put it in the oven just to make sure it's sweet enough and there's enough cinnamon and everything like that. And it is so stinking good, you guys. So I'm just gonna get this onto a parchment paper lined pan, like I said, and you just wanna spread it out evenly and then get it into the oven. So you bake it for 15 minutes first, and then you take it out, and then you're just going to check it. The edges will be a lot browner, and you're going to break it up, and then you're going to put it back in for 5-minute increments, stirring it in between each increment just to make sure it gets evenly cooked. All right, guys, so while the granola is baking, I'm going to work on my final recipe, which is my butter pecan fat bombs. So I know that it seems crazy that you will be eating butter, but trust me, guys, it is amazing. I have tried pretty much every fat bomb probably out there, and this is the one that I love the most. I have been eating it probably now for like a year. I haven't changed because I like it so much. So the recipe will be below for you guys. I'm starting off with 2 sticks of butter. I'm also adding some coconut oil. It is so warm in my house almost that my coconut oil was pretty much like melted, and I get the big tub of coconut oil from Costco because it just lasts me forever. I'm also using some Walden Farms maple syrup again. And I'm going in with some brown sugar flavoring from that OOO flavors. They also have like all kinds. They have maple syrup, they have all kinds. And I just added some of that stevia monk fruit syrup as well. So next I'm going to go in with my hand mixer, and I have to show you guys my cute hand mixer. Is it not stinking cute? When I bought it and I opened it up, I was like, oh my gosh, this looks like a thing out of a Pixar movie. So I'm just going to blend up the butter and coconut oil and everything together before I add my nuts, because I find if you put the nuts in and then blend it, the nuts kind of get, I don't know, just mixed up too much. I don't really like it that way. So I'm going to blend up the mixture, then I'm going to add my walnuts, and then I'm going to place it into my chocolate mold. So I found this mold at Michael's. Yes, I found it at Michael's. It's just, I think, a Martha Stewart chocolate mold, and it works perfectly. So once I have all of the little squares filled, I will stick it into the freezer. And then once it's frozen, I will put them individually. I will take them out and I will put them into just a plastic Tupperware container, and I keep them in the freezer. I find if you keep them in the fridge, the butter it's just too soft. It's just not quite hard enough. So I just keep them in the freezer, and they are perfect and delicious. And you guys, they are a perfect little sweet snack. If you are somebody who likes salty and sweet things, which I love, this is perfect for you. All right, guys, so next I'm going to work on my chicken because it has cooled enough that I can touch it. The granola is still in the oven. The cauliflower is still sitting in the microwave. It's just been steamed. The 7 minutes is obviously up. It's just sitting there. And you can see how easily the bone just pops out of this chicken. It is so juicy and delicious. And I'm just going to shove the bones into my little compost bin that's on the side. And I'm just going to take my kitchen shears and I just start chopping it up with the kitchen shears. It's way easier than chopping it with a knife, and to be honest, with my carpal tunnel, when I have to do a lot of chopping with a knife, it does hurt. So I find the scissors just way easy, and I just cut it up into big old random chunks. And that is it. I'm going to do that to all of the chicken, and in a minute you will see that the timer goes off for the granola. So I'm going to pull out the granola and just show you what it looks like after 15 minutes with those brown edges. So here is the granola after the first 15 minutes. You can see it's bubbling away and the edges have started to brown. So I'm going to take this wooden spatula and I'm going to break it apart, and then I'm going to put it back in the oven for another 5 minutes while I continue to cut up my chicken. So when you're doing meal prepping like this, you definitely have to be able to multitask, because you're going to have, you know, things all going on at once. But once you do it a few times, it really becomes a lot easier. So I know that this video seems maybe like all over the place, but it is just my routine, and it is pretty much how I do it every time. It doesn't matter what meat I'm doing, what salad I'm doing, what veg I'm doing. I kind of go in this same order, I guess, depending on what kind of a veg I'm doing or how I'm making it, but it's very, very easy once you start doing it. All right, so here we have the granola again after the next 5 minutes. You can see it's starting to brown up really nicely. I'm going to pop it in again for another 5 minutes. And then going back to the chicken, it's all cut up now. So I put my rubber glove on because you can see all of those juices in the bottom of the pan. I really like to mix that in with the meat. So I just take my hand and I get in there and I really mix it, because that is all flavor and fat and deliciousness. And that's another thing, you guys, with keto, is you want to eat the fat. I know that it sounds crazy, but I love the fat on things like on steak and pork chops and stuff. So this is just like an easy way of eating for me. So I'm now going to portion out my supper. So I'm going to put the cauliflower, I'm going to put the pork chop mixture that I mentioned in the beginning of this video that I've already made, and some of the chicken. So I will put the pork chop recipe that I found originally below for you guys as well. So here I'm just going to measure out my cauliflower, and as I mentioned earlier, I planned for 100 grams per container. And while I was doing this, the oven beeped for the granola because it was only on for 5 minutes. So I'm going to pull that out and show you guys what it looks like now. And this is where I leave it. You could go another 5 minutes, maybe 3 minutes, but I like this texture right here. And now back to my supper. So you guys are again gonna think I'm probably crazy, but I am adding a tablespoon of butter and a tablespoon of heavy cream to all of my cauliflower before I put my protein on top. And then I'm just going to portion out my pork, which I think when I did the math on this one, it ended up being 90 grams per serving. And then I did 110 grams of chicken. But of course, keep in mind, your measurements will probably be different than mine. This is just all of my measurements with everything that I was using and everything that I had on hand. So I was originally going to put my supper into glass containers, and you guys, I completely forgot, but I have these really nice glass containers from Amazon, and of course they have blush pink lids. I will link them below for you guys. So I just decided to leave them in the plastic because I don't generally like to microwave in plastic if I can avoid it. So that's why I purchased those plastic or those glass containers, but you know what, it was what it was. I was not going to mess around with it at this point, and I'm sure I won't die from doing it once or twice. And as far as the rest of the chicken goes, I just grab a freezer bag. I only had these massively large ones. So I'm going to throw the chicken in this bag, and then what I do is I flatten it out before I freeze it. That way you can kind of break it in half and bend it and fold it, and then you can kind of stack it in your freezer in a, more organized way. So I'm going to get the chicken in this bag and then into the freezer. And I simply store my granola in one of these other Tupperware containers that I got. One of my old clients actually dropped them off on my doorstep one day. So cute, because she knows I love blush pink, and they actually have sparkles in them. They were a limited edition. So this is the other granola that I made that I have a little bit left, and I will remove this and then put the new granola in the bottom and this one on top, just so that I utilize this one first. And then I just wanted to show you how one of the new clusters, how they're kind of soft and chewy in some areas. Like this one is soft and chewy. So that's why I also think you could totally make it into a granola bar. Guys, so that is it for all of my meal prep stuff. What time is it? It's 2:44. So I started around noon. So almost 3 hours, but like I said, next week I don't have to cook my protein, I don't have to make my granola, and I don't have to make my fat bombs. That's 3 things that I won't have to make next week, and probably the week after. The fat bombs I might have to make again because I probably should have tripled it. I think I usually triple it and I only doubled it, but that's fine. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to see more recipe videos or meal prepping videos, I don't know if I would do another meal prepping video, but maybe recipes or something that I've tried that's keto that I really, really like, I could share with you guys. Just let me know in the comment section below. I have a granola in my teeth. It's so good, you guys. You have to try it. Out of all of these things, the granola is probably my favorite thing. Although that cucumber salad, I haven't tasted it yet, like since it's been sitting, but it tasted so good when I made it. So I think I'll definitely be making that one again as well. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, guys, please share it with someone else. And as always, have an amazing day.